Everybody, it's Michael Martin. Thanks for being here. I'm a Los Angeles-based trader. I trade stocks, futures, and options on both, mostly with debit balances. I'd like to be in control of the option. Question I get a lot, and really what this channel is about is, Michael, how can I start to master my trading psychology? What is it that I can do to better myself, better my results? I talk a good game about wanting to make money, but if I look at my behavior, basically subvert all my activities, and I can't figure out why it's driving me nuts. A lot of comments about this. You could see it on the channel. One was like, what kind of notes do you keep? So I want to talk about that today. The topic will be how do you master your own trader psychology, right? Because there's one that's unique for each one of us. Trading is one of those things where you're deliberately putting yourself in harm's way, right? We're inviting risk into our lives. Most people are risk averse, which means they'll only take on risk if there's a commensurate amount of return that goes with it. But most of the time, they're kind of scaredy cats. Traders are deliberately adding risk to their lives when we have a primal nature for fight or flight. So it goes against the natural order of things, right? So if you're endeavoring to be a trader, this is something that you want to kind of know right away, is that you're going against the grain. And you can feel that. You can feel it when you're endeavoring to trade. You can even feel it when you're opening an account, funding the account. You can feel it when you know you're about to hover the mouse and click the button to enter your orders. I've been there, especially when my account was underfunded. But there's definitely one thing that you can do, in my opinion, that will completely change the game for you as far as trader psychology, emotional intelligence is concerned, that I don't think a lot of people are doing, and it definitely is an unpopular opinion, and that is, in your trading journal, stop writing about chart patterns and setups. That's the academic part. That's the easy part. You could get that in 3 to 6 months, maybe less. It took me a while because I was thick, but I think you can get it probably sooner. And what you should focus on is how to uncover your bias. We all are products of our environment. I know that's a generalization. You can look up the psychological terms. It's not necessarily going to help you trade better knowing what those psychological terms are, because you know it. You're heavily influenced by the people that surround you or that you surround yourself with. So one thing that absolutely helped my trading go parabolic was when it was writing in my notebook. You can call it a journal, a diary. I don't care what you call it. What you do want to do is make sure you put the date at the top of every page, because the longitudinal study here, where you're going to be able to look back on your own behavior and what you were thinking over longer periods of time, is an invaluable asset to you. It's nothing that I can give you. You have to kind of give it to yourself, but I'm going to teach you how to do it all for free because I love you. And instead of writing setups and all that kind of stuff, which to me is a snooze, you need to start to keep track of the things that you're thinking at the time that you're putting on the trade. I'm going to guess that many of you are trying to make it in the short-term space, and that you are afraid to take risk home overnight, and that you might be involved in discords or other types of groups where there are other like-minded people. To me, I find that those kind of stunt your growth. Why? Well, because if you're in like a crypto discord, find me the person that goes against the grain and says all this stuff is basically dog shit, including Bitcoin, and it's going in the toilet. Everybody's going to be pro Bitcoin. That to me doesn't help you, because now you're trying to fit in and do things that look like trading. Where you could improve is, what are they not talking about, and why are they not talking about it? What is it that I'm missing here? Because the best traders are contrarian in nature. They don't trust anybody, right? You can only come to learn to trust yourself, and that's going to come with time. In order to do that, go to your notebook, write today's date at the top of the page, I've got notebooks everywhere. I've got one here, I got two in front of me here, so I have four just within arm's reach, and I use them all for different things. I've got my art sketchbook over there. I got my Basquiat one from when I went to see it down at LA Grand, which I saw it twice. Once by myself. Actually, I think I went with Carter both. It doesn't matter. But so I want you to think about, when you're looking at a trade, even if you don't have an order set up yet, why are you looking at a particular trade? Why are you looking at the instrument that you're looking at? What is it that is attracting you to that instrument? What do you think the opportunity is? Right? there's a philosopher, he's passed away, obviously, his name is Immanuel Kant. He would talk about the ex ante expectation versus the ex post realization. So you want to kind of go to school on yourself, right? Not because no one can help you with this but you. And this is great information. And the reason we want to kind of do this and uncover the things that we're thinking about before we put on the trade is that it's you in your purest sense. And be honest with yourself. If it's like, well, a friend of mine's really smart. He makes a lot of money in trading. He mentioned this stock to me, so I'm going to look it up, and that's what goes in your journal. You need to be honest with yourself if you want growth. You don't have to share this with anyone. It's very personal. And I would write the feelings that I have. What do I feel about? How do I feel about this name? How do I feel about the sector? What do I really know about it? Other than reading Yahoo Finance or something like that, which is not research, it's entertainment, right? So how do you justify your thoughts and your feelings, right? And it's okay to speculate. There's nothing wrong with it. But if that's the role that you're in, then be honest, because that's how you're going to learn. The subconscious plays such a monster role in trading that this to me is the best way for you to kind of take that information out of your head and put it down on paper and do that over longer periods of time. Then once you do this every day, you're going to be able to go back and look at it and say, okay, here's my mode of thinking. And I find myself in this spot a lot. I feel that there are opportunities, maybe because of the bias that I bring to the table, when it's not warranted. There is no opportunity. I think there's an opportunity because right now I can't tell my ass in from a hole in the ground, but I'm at least trying. That's important information because it stops you from doing stupid things with your money. You see, it's not about the chart patterns. Because I give you an example. Pick one chart pattern, cup and handle. Boom, that part of your journaling is done every day. I'm only going to trade cup and handles. Nothing else to write about. Then you focus your activity on understanding who you are and what you bring to the table. Also understanding what you don't bring to the table, because this will help you uncover your strengths and your weaknesses as a human being. Because you can't separate the trader from the human being. Human beings are emotional by nature, right? Unless you're catatonic and you're one of those characters from the movie Awakenings. You bring a lot to the table whether you're aware of it or not. And so uncovering that and understanding what the emotional model is that you're running in your life is going to be invaluable to you when you try to apply this to trading, because how you act with your mom and dad, to your siblings, to your platonic friends, to your romantic relationships, to your ex-romantic relationships, there's all emotional models that go with that, right? And you might find that you have certain emotional models that you run in and around risk-taking. That's the key to life right there. If you want to make this your business and do it successfully, is you have to understand who you are. What is it that makes you tick? What do you feel about in terms of taking chances? What do the people in your life, your nuclear family, what do they think about speculation? What do they think about taking chances? Did you grow up in a household of conventional wisdom? Did you hear things like, oh, trading stocks is legalized gambling? Because people taught you how to think. They taught you how to behave. They probably taught you how to feel. Stop your crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Did you hear that kind of stuff growing up? So I don't think you have to be a psychologist to understand your own psychology. But you do need to be honest with yourself and keep notes of it, because you will have a selective memory about it and maybe a revisionist sense of history. So keeping a record of it doesn't have to be War and Peace. Write 1 page a day. This is what I want to do. I want to make money. Then you'll find out that there's more to trading than just making money. That's typically not a good goal. Why? Well, I think it was Frederick Taylor, I might be wrong, who was a management thought leader back in the day, proved that money's not a motivator. So there needs to be something else for you, like what needs are being fulfilled by you endeavoring into your trading. And if you're a long-time vet and you're running 8 figures of credit, this is still great work that you can do, because your motivations might have changed from the first time that you got your job or you got an internship or you switched from being a prop trader at a bank to working, inside of a hedge fund or something like that. It's very important to understand that your psychology can change. You might have different financial pressures growing up now that you're older than you did when you were younger, right? Especially if you're younger, you're probably single. You've got rent, maybe a mortgage, maybe education debt. 20 years later, you're married with kids, they've private school, you got a mortgage, you have people, you have dependents now, so it's different. There's different criteria. So in our coaching and the type of professionals that I work with, who are largely folks who are good and want to get better, the thing we always focus on is their trader psychology, right? Then we go to thoughts, feelings, actions, like what are your goals? What do you want out of this situation? What do you want trading to do for you? How do you want trading to serve you in your life? How does it fulfill you? Because it's typically not about the money. The money is just a vehicle to get you other stuff that gives you strong feelings. So it is kind of a passing tone in the big orchestration of life, you see? But I very, very rarely find people, even who are at the top levels, at the top firms, that are solely driven by the money. It's really what they can do with the money. So if you're starting out, you might start there. Like, everyone wants validation, right? I want to be validated. How do I get that validation? That's important to me. I admire traders, and I want to be in that peer group. What are you willing to do? And what's the difference between looking like a trader and actually being a trader? What do you think a trader does? Because if you look at in social media and the videos that are on YouTube, you'll see people with 95 monitors going through charts. That's part of it. But the hard work is actually done, the night before, and it's the preparation. It's also knowing who you are. I'm doing that myself, and I've got 35 years of experience, so it doesn't change. Go back and look at a video from last week that says, I'm trying Andrew Huberman's morning routine, right? Because I can always be learning, right? I want to be an optimal performer always. And once I feel like I'm in that spot, it's okay, how do I optimize it further? So if you want my humble advice and you want to see, geometric growth in your behavior, because behavior predicts where you end up. If you do small-minded stuff, you're going to get small-minded results. So if you have $1,000 and you think you're going to scalp your way to financial freedom, I don't think that's the fastest way for you to grow your account. You have to understand your psychology and what is it that you want. Do you want to be right, or do you want to make money? Because oftentimes those two things aren't necessarily running parallel. You have to be relatively correct. How do you feel about expected values versus being accurate? You won't know necessarily until you try it on, but you might have an idea ahead of time. Do you want to run a really accurate system that makes $3, or do you want to run a system that's right only a third of the time and make $10? Right? Because behavior predicts where you end up. You need to know what makes you tick. You are going to act out of emotion. That's the way it works. Even if you're a system trader, you're still going to have strong feelings that run through your body. No one's ever immune from that. So again, just to reiterate, the key to this is to keep track of what you were thinking ahead of time. What did you want out of the situation? What did you anticipate the security was going to do? By when? Who gave you the information? What was your analysis? Where did you get your data from? So this helps you understand, like maybe you need to see it in writing. I'm a visual learner myself, so I do better with pictures than actually listening to podcasts. Who would have figured? But if I'm getting my ideas from other people, or I'm subscribing to a service, right, this might help you understand that that's a failing system for you. It might have looked good ex ante, but in practice, you're still full of indecision. Why do you have indecision? How do you feel about having indecision? Well, Michael, I want to buy my way out of indecision. That's why I subscribe to the alert service. So this helps you get right down to it. Like, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? Because you're going to go towards the feelings that you want, and you'll do anything to get away from the feelings that you don't want. But you typically can't buy your way out of the feelings that you don't want to have. Sooner or later, you're going to have to face them head on and bring your best game to the table. Remember, the feelings that you want are sometimes on the other side of the feelings that are uncomfortable for you in the near term. But embrace those feelings, because typically there means there's some type of reward. If there's risk or discomfort to you, there's some type of reward that goes with that. So investigate that and write that down in your journal. You don't have to worry about chart patterns and setups. You have to understand your own behavior, because even the best, there's a French proverb, La plus belle fille au monde ne peut donner que ce qu'elle a. The prettiest girl in the world can't give what she doesn't have. So you can see all the best setups. You can buy books full of charts that have made people tens of millions of dollars. But if you don't have the emotional constitution to trade those things, they're useless to you. They might as well not exist. So the goal is to find something that's compatible with you. I believe chart patterns and systems all give off emotional responses. And it's up for you to find the one that's going to resonate with you from an emotional standpoint. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for you to stick with it. You see? So it's the trading in my world of trading. I might be unique here. Like I said, don't write down chart patterns and setups. Who cares? That's a snooze. The key is to find the one that resonates with you, that you can replicate that behavior day after day after day. And it's that consistency that's going to get you the results that you want from your trading. Not the chart pattern, but how you trade it. You are the uniqueness here. You're the asset, not the chart pattern. The sooner you figure that out, the better off you'll be. You like this video? Go check out the one that I have for you right here.